it's a Wednesday, running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts got the Catholic culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Cat that's corner, told you call her. All the baddies is a lady, pull up, he's a lady. Kill you, me also known as that. Turning with cash on the back end, how it's gonna add up, change it like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the Jupiverse. Like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking over gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I just gonna get it moving on. Making do some music and the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof break, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday, running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts got the Catholic culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, we wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof break, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday, running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts got the Catholic culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Cat that's corner, told you call her. All the baddies is a lady, pull up, he's a lady. Kill you, me also known as that. Turning with cash on the back end, how it's gonna add up, change it like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the Jupiverse. Like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking over gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I just gonna get it moving on. Making do some music and the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof break, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday, running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts got the Catholic culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show.
Yo, what is up, everybody? It's good to be here. I missed y'all last week. Shout out to all the homies who are already here. I see my guy Hoon Igal, who never misses. Deedle, Yeriter. Yeriter was posting some images that I do not condone if your family is on Twitter, but they were pretty good. My guy Uncle Eddie Manique is here as well. Of course, Yoda and Tay and Ibar. And everybody's back. Guam, the Liam Neeson of Solana is here. What else could you want? We are going to have a fun one today. I will say the cat is back. Where is he? You might ask. Great question. I would reply to you. I think he should be on, hopefully, in the next few seconds. The wet fam is in the building as well. God, by the way, wet just been crushing, or humidified just been crushing lately. It's going to be a very fun one today. We got a bunch of things that we're going to go through, answering some big questions that people have had about what's coming up next year in particular, along with some of the main things that have been going on recently. To the people in the chat who are saying, where is Meow? I think he's just finishing up his shower, which he told me that he could do in 2 to 3 minutes. The man has not slept much in the last 48 hours. I can promise you that. All right, we're gonna get started in a bit. But before we do, as I frantically try to find my screen and then make it the right size, and then, why is this not working? There we go. Yeah, I've done this call before, I promise, even if it doesn't look like I have. We're going to do the first and most important thing that we have to do every single time, which is play the unofficial Cat theme song. Let's go.
when I'm rolling, niggas shoot my line with the
There I am, and there he is. The cat is back, ladies and gentlemen. What's up,
Let's
Meow?
go. Let's go.
How you doing, buddy? I had heard rumors that you were dead. You've been alive this whole time?
9 lives, bro. 9 lives.
Can I also say, when that music came on, Meow jumped backwards and then went and did a bunch of what are those called? The push-ups? No, muscle ups. I think they're called. He just jumped back and did some muscle ups. Maybe if some people are nice in the chat, he might do a few more to impress everybody. How you been, man? You missed the Planetary Call. It's good to have you back.
Always, man. Always.
Let me tell you, the chat is excited. I saw Jaylene was excited. Sinyi Bork, of course, a bunch of other folks. You know, I'm glad that people missed you. Don't miss them too much. Make me feel bad. I'm here every other fucking week. I don't know what I'm doing over here then. But in case you don't already know, my name is Cash. I am the cat herder over here at Jupiter. I am also a professional actor. I recorded an ad. Did you see the ad, Meow?
It was amazing.
Hey,
It was amazing.
Actually, what happened is that Meow texted me right after being like, Bollywood, you're not going to make it in Bollywood or something to that effect. But he's very polite in public, which is why we're good buddies. I do say bro a lot, and this is, of course, Meow.
How was the Bollywood shoot?
Bro, incredibly stressful. I totally get why actors are super insecure and annoying. I was very much the same thing. It took 10 hours to shoot that 70-second commercial for Breakpoint.
No way, 10 hours?
Yeah, 10 hours. I mean, there was like a
Holy
stylist,
shit.
wardrobe. I had a fucking trailer. There was like 40 or 50 people in the crew.
Do you get makeup and shit?
That was another big lesson. I really should start wearing makeup. I mean, people can see my glasses leave this like little indent here. So
Yeah.
I need makeup before these calls too. You're already Photoshopped, brother. You don't need anything else. You're good. Anyway, this is Meow. He's a bag worker, and he's back on the Planetary Call after a long while. In case you have not been here in a long while, let me remind you what this call is all about. The goal of this call is really to celebrate the people, the products that make the Jupiverse so great. We're going to rapidly go through a lot of stuff today. I'm not even going to do an over-under on the time for this because it is definitely going to go over. This is the agenda right now. We got a Meow recap. Then we have this fortnight in the Jupiverse. There's like 15 things that happened in the last 2 weeks, by the way. Then we're going to talk briefly about moving beyond Metis, what that means for Jupiter and how Jupiter is no longer just a DEX aggregator, but it's moved much beyond that, and why this kind of change on Metis is coming as part of that. We're going to recap the fresh start. I know people have questions about the unstaking window and the burn. We're going to answer those there.
Let's
we're
go.
Gonna tell you,
Finally, let's go.
and then we're going to tell you all about Catlumpur as well. We got dates for you, along with a little bit of alpha. You're going to enjoy that, so people can start to book. And then finally, the big one at the end, Redacted 2026. Stick around to the end. I can promise you're going to want to listen to that one. Before we get into it, though, with about 10 seconds before the call, we have a little new item to the agenda, the Meow recap. Meow, what you been doing, man? Have you just been hanging out on a yacht this entire time?
Yes,
Been on a
that's what I
relax?
did. I mean, meowing and shit, right?
Just texting
So,
me.
okay, honestly,
like,
honestly, there's lots of going on. I mean, bro, crazy, man. It's like, bro, it's so crazy. It's like, it feels like, can you believe it? Jupeland is not even 3 months old. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe it, quite genuinely, because that's
It's insane, right? Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? It's crazy, right? That it's actually crazy. You know, it's crazy that we actually launched. Like it's crazy. Anyway, just a quick recap, right? It's like, you know, I think, and guys, it's just the last 3 months, okay? Just the last 3 months, right? You know, we launched Jupeland in beta, right? You know, and by far the best lending platform anywhere, not just Solana, anywhere. So I'm saying, right? Like lower security penalties. Liquidities, like, you know, highest level LTV, higher level capital efficiency, and just like, you know, just really good stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I was also really proud of the way the team kept improving, right? So I'm saying, you know, it's like we launched it in private beta, right? And then we launched it in beta, and now it's and throughout the whole beta phase, we just kept on improving, right? How do you feel? I mean, you were anchoring the whole thing, right? So how do you feel? I mean, amazing job, bro.
Feel good. I mean, obviously, a lot of credit's got to go to the team, the Fluid Boys, Prati, Aditya, Samyak, DMH. They're all incredible. Our own side, Kevin, Ben, and many others on our team have made it happen. So very much a large scale effort. But the best thing is that it keeps getting better. Like literally today, we shipped a bunch of upgrades to the multiply page that basically remake it entirely based on everyone's feedback. So that's been just a delight. And then we have another big release. I think it's coming out tomorrow or the next day. Anyway, the shipping continues.
And that's crazy. It just keeps on improving. right?
Every week is a big week.
You see what I'm saying, right? It's like you see what I'm saying, right? Because like we just keep improving, right? It's the main thing, right? You know, and the second thing is that obviously I think secondly we took JLP, which is already the leading yield token in crypto, right? And made it 10x better, right? You know, we have native JCC loans and sticking for under so, right? And obviously we completed Jupiter Mobile V2, and by the way, the way I'll show you guys, right? The way we do mobile, right, is that every few months, right, we try to make it the best in something. Okay, so for the first 3 months, we try to make it the best in trading, right? And then so after you put trading, then the next 3 months, we make it the best in DeFi, you know, right? And that's V2. And now for V3, we want to make it best for trenching and pro trading. So I'm saying, you know, right? So every few months, to make it the best in something, right? So actually very confident that like by next month, I think we'll probably be the best in like, I think, and then we'll be best something. So I think that's how we do mobile, right? And also Ultra V3, big effort here. Ultra V3 is awesome, right? So Ultra V3 is something that Ultra V3, right? It's kind of like the most advanced end-to-end trading ever, right? Basically, like from the whole, because most people could cash. When we first started, remember, like Jupiter was just router, right? Makes sense, you know, right? But then over time, the trading landscape became much more complicated, right? You needed not just one router, but multiple routers, right? And then you need a layer on top to actually figure out the slippage you set. Because one thing they realized, right, is that most of the slippage is actually not caused by anything. It's caused by the user setting too high slippage to get through. So I'm saying, or too low. So we automated all that shit. So I'm saying, and made it the most advanced like slippage estimator in the whole industry by far, right? And then also under below low and lower in the stack, obviously we also install on proprietary system called predictive execution. And below that, which kind of like predicts not just the quote price, right, but execution price, right? And then right below that, and right below that, we also did the whole right below that, we also install on like really awesome Jupiter Beam, right? Which essentially is our own proprietary in-house transaction lender, right? And data streamer, you know? So you guys guess what? There's two things, by the way. On the back end, there's a Jupiter Stream, which allows which allows us to get the data at the first slot that's finalized, right? And there's Jupiter Beam, which allows us to kind of like, execute the trade, right? At the sense, as close to matter as possible. So basically, I think that is actually kind of the thing that there's Ultra V3. There's the full stack. I can say with a lot of confidence, right? It's like the full stack is the first like full stack end-to-end trading engine, right? It's awesome. And also we also built out our own infra, as mentioned before. We also became surprisingly, we suddenly became the TDL leader in Solana. Pretty cool, right? You know, right?
Not bad.
And then
not bad.
also became the second largest validator, right? You know,
Coming for you, Mert.
Shut up. No, shut up. And no, friendly. I think and also obviously it's actually really big, by the way, right? We also released a 10x better limit on the system, right? You know, like and features that don't release anywhere else, right? You know, like buy above, sell below, USD triggered by either price or market pair, bundle edit orders, private transactions, so no one can see from you, a lot of stuff. So the thing like limit order V1 was actually like really good. Limit order V2 just I would say that it's actually the first DeFi limit order, right? That's actually more advanced, right? Than even the C5 limit orders, right? So I think so actually a lot of stuff. And then the other thing is also and then obviously launch future markets. Let's go in beta, and then like it's just in beta, right? And then high-risk market light up. And then we're going to have a really, I think so far it's still in beta, right? I think we're still trying to figure out a lot of things on liquidity, discovery of markets and everything, but the goal is to kind of be able to roll them out quickly, you know, because prediction market is actually fun because they're in some sense the first like mainstream thing, right? Because most of the time, like, we care about things like DeFi and everything, but the average person cares more about soccer. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? Or like like who's fucking whoever, right? So I feel like those are things that mainstream cares about. So I think the prediction market is actually a really fun way to actually be able to engage in to merge like DeFi and culture, you know. So that's actually one reason why we are like yeah, I talk fast. Yes, that's how I roll. I try to talk slower. I listened to myself.
You're gonna wear
I listened to myself talk recently, and I was shocked at how little I understood about myself. You know, I'm like, holy shit.
And you're a native English speaker as well. That's crazy. You're a native English speaker.
There you go. Yeah, okay. Anyway. So I'm gonna get more fun. I'm gonna talk slowly now. Okay, for a few minutes. So we also dropped the Advanced Pro, you know, right? With the most advanced P&L analysis, runner detection, advanced analytics, right? And also obviously portfolio tools, a huge thing is airdrop checkers, wallet group manager, network history, and of course one big one, right? The Jupiter wallet for desktop. Yeah. So I think in summary, I feel like it's all in a end to end. I always understood. All right, I always understood. Okay, imagine it, bro. If you think it's hard, imagine the AI transcriber. Okay, that's the hard part. I'm the test.
We couldn't use AI transcribers. We had to get human beings to write down every word.
Just slow down everything. But guys, also obviously, so that's the last 3 months, right? So I think all in all, I feel like we have made a lot of progress, right, towards the whole idea of the DeFi super app. Make sense? Right? And as you can see later on, the DeFi super app is not just a a term, right? It actually has a lot of implications about how things work. So thinking right about the future direction of company or project, right? Yeah. Also, obviously, so that's a project front. So also on the team front, a lot of things happen as well. So I think I would say that for last 3 months, a very, very big part of my effort is in 3 things, right? Number one, obviously shipping things, obviously working in team to ship a lot of stuff. But also really kind of like really re-engineering the team. So I'm saying, right? Hi, Amadia, hello, good to see you again. Right? And the team to kind of like to really be able to like how do we build a full stack team, right? I would say we have some core winners in the team. For example, on the infra side of things, or for example on the data side of things, and also on the crucially on the comms and growth and channel side of things, right? So I think the last 3 months has really been about trying to figure out okay, in our quest, right? So I'm saying in our quest, for the team, for the right kind of system, right? That can actually take us, can really drive DeFi forward. What are the missing pieces? Make sense? Obviously, obviously what's not mentioned here is two major things, right? So the other 2 major things that we spend our time on is Jupenet, right? Jupenet as well. Jupenet, we did our first, I'm so proud of the whole team. Dude, Jupenet is such a leaf, man. Such a fucking leaf, bro. It's we have to do because for Jupenet, we are reinventing a lot of stuff, right? We want to rethink how a lot of stuff works, right? So we're rethinking how we're doing something called on-chain consensus, right? Secondly, we're doing so consensus is not just one chain, but on-chain. The second thing is around the second thing is actually around why must we use wallets with blockchains? So can we actually just rethink the whole wallet model, right? The third thing is actually around sequencing, right? How do we rethink the sequencing game? So basically, that has been a really big leap in trying to figure out things at once. And then a couple of months back, we finally did our first friends and family day, right? Where we actually kind of demo a few things, explain a few concepts, which was a good warm up, right? So I think over the next couple of months, ideally we released the Jupiter. I won't call it the craziest technology. I won't say that, but it's we do want it to. No, I just say I don't hype things. Okay, I hate hyping things. Okay, it's not the craziest technology. Don't call it the craziest thing. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to improve some fundamental nature, right, of how blockchains work. Make sense? It's not about don't hype it up. Guys, do me a favor, don't hype it up, right? Just okay, but it's a lot of hard work. The second thing we're doing is that the second thing is and so that's actually Jupenet, and then obviously studio as well. For studio, we did a far kind of work on studio. I see a lot of studio heads now, the bubble heads and everything and stuff, and everyone's here. So I feel like and obviously made a lot of good friends. I see a lot of boss here. Kirby, whatever. But I think so I feel like the main thing here is that that we spent a lot. Like studio has been a big chunk of my effort, right? So I'm saying exploring the space, exploring Meow, exploring studio, exploring boss, exploring Uranus and planets, everything. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And then obviously big leap for everyone. Learn the fuck more lessons. Right. And so I think and looking forward to kind of really contributing even more. So really kind of bringing contributing doing even more stuff for the studio communities. And also actually a big launch coming. So I think we're also making a lot of core changes to the whole system, Yeah, so that's my recap. A lot of stuff going on, and that's it. So I've been doing a lot, and we've been doing a lot. Let's go.
That's right. It's crazy just to go through.
Only 3 months, bro.
Yeah, maybe a little bit less actually. I think it's like 2.5. Goddamn, it has been busy. That's the last two-ish months. Here's what's happened in the last 2.5 weeks. Just to add on top of that, no Molu, no over under on this call. When I knew Meow was back on it, it was like 3 hours over under. It's probably where we're gonna go. We got a lot of stuff to go through as well, so we're gonna go through this next part pretty quickly. A few things that you might have missed. Point here is going to get you up to speed. Nobody ships like Jupiter, and that means that from our perspective,
nobody
also communicate more than anyone else does on what all we're doing, so that everybody actually
Not just that, man. We can communicate better. We're really bad at shit, bro. It's fine. Let's go. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, and then he's left the call. Interesting. Okay, so here's what's been going on. The litter box burn vote has actually concluded, 86% in favor. Incredible. We're going to tell you exactly when that burn is happening later on this call. The thing I'm most proud of, 70%, 71% voter participation. Incredible. So major shout out to the Jupe DAO and everyone that actually ended up voting. Speaking of Jupe, state Jupe is actually at all-time highs right now, 730 million plus Jupe staked. I think people are pretty excited about the DTF and a few other big things that are coming in over there. Menace V7 is also coming. I'll wait till Meow comes back. We're going to have a whole section on this in just a little bit, so you can hear it, but it's a big one. Shout out to the entire developer platform team, YY, Bink, Italo, Siong, Unmol, and Ujwal. We've really been pushing these JL tokens, and people love them. I think it's one of the reasons that Lend has continued to grow, even though the markets are obviously going down dramatically. You can now create a lending position directly from a swap interface. If you have funds in a custodian, for example, and you can't access DeFi protocols, this works. If you mostly use a ledger and you don't have to like pull it out every time or whatever, just swap right into it. Super, super simple. Love to see it. Jupiter Lend, $1.5 billion in flash loan volume processed. Pretty incredible on that side as well. And this one is very close to my heart.
Question for you. It's like when you first started at Jupiter, do you ever think that you'll be running a multi-billion-dollar money market protocol?
I didn't know that it would be a money market protocol, but in a sense, it'd be multi-billion.
Yeah, okay, but it's funny, right? It's funny how fast things move, right? Isn't it cool?
Crazy. I mean, yeah. Like, people forget. Hey, this is the whole thing. It's only 3 months old, and it's already the second biggest on Solana, and it's going to 10x from here. I can promise you that. Speaking of things that are new but are excellent, the Jupiter Wallet extension. I cannot recommend enough that people do this. Excellent. It is so good, especially if you use Jupiter products, especially if you like to trade using Pro. No having to like sign the additional message. You just click it, it goes through.
No, it's just fast too. It's also fast. It's also really fast.
Incredibly fast.
Really simple, really fast, and like, I mean, I don't know, it's alpha, bro. Yeah.
This is the best. And there's a bunch of quality of life improvements. If you are a member of the LP Army, you have to use the wallet extension. Auto approve for Meteor is now there. All your DeFi positions are in there. Shout out to Guam and the gang. And now Helios's Orb Explorer is in there. So shout out to Mert. And can I just say this? People, I don't know if people know this or not. Aaron CQL built this almost exclusively by himself on the side. That is how Chad of a dev he is. A big shout. Impressive stuff. There are other teams that have 10-person teams working on wallet extension. Jupiter, we just hire the best. Limit order V2 now live, as Meow mentioned. It is so good. Triggers for both limit price and market cap, so you don't have to do any weird math. It's all hidden, so bots cannot front run you or anything else like that. Powered by Ultra, so you get all the Ultra benefits, and you can set take profits and stop loss when you create it. You don't have to sit in front of a screen all day, folks. The whole thing is right there for you. Yusuf, Evan, and Aiden cooked on this one. You can even set it on the chart. That's my actual favorite feature, if I'm being honest. Set the little take profit stop loss right there on the chart. It's so easy. Prediction markets continue to grow. We have more than 50. I think it's actually closer to 100 now. Major improvements coming. There's more filters, sports, crypto, politics, and more things coming soon. Robinhood partnered with us, probably the biggest one on this side. When the best teams in crypto, or when the best teams outside of crypto want to get more into crypto, they always come to Jupiter. This is Robinhood. It's Uniswap. There's so many teams like this. Solana swaps within the Robinhood wallet, now powered by the Ultra API. Why? Because they wanted to give their users the best trading experience possible. So obviously they're going to use Ultra, get that MEV protection, gasless swaps, and much more. Then we have Bullpen also using Jupiter's Ultra API. So you can just see the whole world is getting onto the Ultra API, which is amazing. 00 delegated 500,000 SOL to the Jupiter Validator program. Shout out to 00 team and Austin in particular over here. We crossed 600,000 followers on X, which is very fun. It's a small milestone, doesn't matter so much. And the community reset has officially kicked off. Shout out to the homie Alley Cat. He's somewhere in here as well. Discord fully refreshed, new channels, new roles, Madrika integration for staking wallets, and more updates coming soon. My goodness. That was just in the last 2.5 weeks. Can you believe it? My God. This is too much, almost too much. There he is again. You good, Meow?
Wait. Sorry. Let me come back real quick. Hey, guys, I have to share a few things. First of all, I think that we strongly believe, right, that so for Ultra, right, like for those who are technical, we all know how hard RPCs and everything is. Something that RPCs, all the different costs, everything, right? It's like, so we actually work super fucking hard for Ultra, right, to get rid of all the things you need, right? For example, you're doing RPC, you're doing anything stuff, you just need to call the fucking API and you're done. We settle everything, right, from Sibish to everything. So I think that's actually a really big thing that we did for Ultra. I think that it's actually and we're going to try to really aim to actually grow Ultra as well, right, as an infra play, right? The second thing, the second thing that we're doing. So the second thing we're doing for the community reset, right? So I think a big shout out to Edicat and also Mina as well. Can you go one slide real quick? I've not really commented on this yet.
AG as well.
Yeah, AG. I need to take a couple of minutes here to say, hey guys, we don't talk about it enough, but I will find time to talk about it at some point. But the experience of working with everyone on the community, right, last year has been tremendous, right? Like really insane amount of emotions went to working with the work groups, the Zero Boys, the DAO, and like the cadets, the COC, like everyone, the Chinese work group, everyone. I was personally probably the most involved in every single work group, every single community. So it's just too much for me to share right now. But I would say this. I think there were a lot of challenges that necessitated the need for the reset. I think also the need for me to take some time off from social, right? To kind of focus on product and everything. But I just to say that I think like enormously grateful to everybody for being part of the journey, and I think and I think the reset is needed. And Edicat did a really big job in resetting it. Driving the reset, and just I fight with Edicat a lot. Okay, cool, like everybody. But then, but I think I'm very grateful to him for driving this reset. It's a lot of work. And Kirby as well was a big part of the first thing as well. Yeah, so I think and holding guys obviously. So I think that so I feel like in summary, I think that we are very very much overdue for a recap of the last previous community. But for now, we have to move forward first. And then we move forward and we look back. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, let's keep going then. Shout out to Alley Cat, AG, and Minko on that. The next section here is all about Metis.
All right. So
yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Let's go. All right. So okay, this is a big topic on my heart. Right. So basically, let me get technical a bit, right? So basically, there is this thing called the router, right? A router scans through all the dexters and we find the best route. So that is actually kind of our core offering for several years. And the thing that we really, I would say, drove to near really, really as far as we could, I'm saying in many ways, right? And then and we created a situation, and then I think there's no doubt that the router that we created was probably the best, in the industry, right? By far. Both in terms of the way it's both in terms of the variety, both in terms of the variety of dexters that it picked up, the speed at which it execute the routing, and the sheer volume, right? It was the most integrated router in the whole DeFi. So I think it was huge, right? And then also service all kinds of use cases from price discovery, token discovery, and routing, everything, right? Oracles. And then we also obviously, but I think since then, right? But since about 2 years ago, we have already started moving aggressively beyond that, right? That we actually figured out a way, right? So we kind of focus on thinking about last couple of years we have really moved far beyond that. In fact, today we actually already use as several aggregators. So I think the Metis being one, 2Z being another, OKX being another, right? Same, and then and a few other and a few others as well. And obviously, but then the system that we created, right, Matisse, was a cornerstone router, right, for Solana, right? Trillion transaction, trillions, T, not B, not M, not B, T, right? And partners generated hundreds of millions in fees, right? And actually, by the way, a lot of the major routers today we bootstrap them. They're always using us, for example, because they were incomplete, right? So they always use us the backstop. And we provided that all for free, right? Almost a public good, because obviously, okay, seriously, I think honestly, that doing that from an MBA point of view is stupid. But I always call cash the MBA guy. So from an MBA point of view is stupid, right? Why would you give your most competitive advantage to people free? So I think we did that because I think we really wanted to kind of enable liquidity to happen on Solana in a way that is like that is like as much liquidity as possible, right? And also we also want to kind of enable our partners to be as powerful as possible, right? So we did that so we're offering API and also the binary, Yeah, I think and also but remember that it's funny, right? We provided a free at cost, right? With full support teams of all sizes. Hey, Cash, remember the Burning Cat?
Of course, yeah.
Event and Xiong was there. Remember, Xiong was doing fucking customer support for devs, right? So during the thing, it was crazy, right? It was insane. Remember that? That's crazy, man.
Go to the right, go to the front.
Yeah. They're fucking doing the I don't know if it's fucking amazing. But that actually shows to me how much support we do, right? So we really care about providing the router. And again, remember, we didn't make money off that. So I think never did. So I think and any money that we made was actually a small percent of whatever the other people made, right? And second, but time now is come. The time now is come, right? We actually have to make a very clear separation from Matisse and Jupiter. First of all, the whole Jupiter side already uses codes from multiple routers and liquidity avenue. So we drive volume to all routers, by the way, not just Matisse, right? And secondly is I think codes from Matisse are often misattributed. So I think there's a pretty big incident recently whereby a very, 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 very unethical team started misattributing us despite many, many attempts for us to actually tell them to stop doing that shit. So I think they just kept doing that shit. So they use something we provided for free as a public good, right? To actually really be to really kind of like to mislead the users and ecosystem, right? It's fucking bullshit, man. I was fucking annoyed by that, but whatever. So right? Anyway, so let's go on. But then but it's come down to split up Matisse and Jupiter, right? Now, and the second thing is that and obviously from our own but that's from an external point of view, right? And from our internal point of view, right? We have grown far beyond that. We have evolved into a full diversified app. We have Pearls, mobile, money markets, portfolio, wallet extension, prediction markets, and many more. Make sense? So, but that's it. We will release. We will release Matisse V7. We will continue to release. So, but one thing we're committed to is that we're committed to improving Matisse as a standalone public good. Cool. Make sense? Right? And therefore we're also upgrading as well. So V7 will come in case of our upgrades, including like efficient splitting, just integration, and also integration with many more liquidity venues. Yeah. All right. Moving forward, I think moving forward, right? So Matisse will be available via a binary and API. The old API would not be accessible very soon because actually we already announced the termination of the binary, but we are going to new one. Okay, there'll be a new binary that will require binary key, and then you can request for access at the website below, Matisse.builders, right? And then you will need users who stake 10,000 Jup will actually be we should do a binary key, yeah. And the API stuff we handle later on, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Same thing.
That's all. Yeah, I think this is a really important kind of like update to put out there. Like Matisse, as Meow said, is the kind of cornerstone of this ecosystem, and so we want to make sure that people can still do it. We just
freelance, man, insane, freelance, man. It's like we spent, bro. It's like we spent so much time, and like if you knew what happened, right? It's like which is it. The reason why I'm personally so triggered, right? By the actions of other people, right? Is that the sheer disrespect, and then we started building that stuff as a website library. And then we just kept improving that shit over years and years and years. So and then we provided a binary to help. You know who binary for? The binary was not meant for bullshit teams, right? To tarnish our brand. That was not the goal.
Let's keep it
right?
positive. Yeah, it was there to help anyone.
It helped anybody be able to, for the oracles, right? Oracles needed a very high frequency to find accurate prices. So I think it was for that purpose, right? So I think it was also for like companies that wanted to provide a service like Triton with a good service to the teams. You see what I'm saying, right? No, right? And anyway, and so I think we love other routers. I'm saying we love it. Again, we're not a router. Done. We use our. It's good for us, right? If someone has a different router, for example, when OKX give us a router, it's good for us. I think because we use that router alongside our router. Make sense? But then then it's all great. We improve together, right? Now anyway, so moving forward, I think and obviously we also improve metrics a lot like crazy. And I'll say one last thing, right? The reason why I was so triggered or simple, right, is that like bro, it's like, do you know how much work Sean put into it? The binary support, it's crazy, man. It's like literally, we make no money from that. And we very, very, very clearly, right, opted for a free or at cost API offering, binary offering. So I think because we wanted to let people use it the way they can, right? That's why it hurts so bad. So I'm saying when a team uses our shit, and blatantly ignores our messages, so I'm saying, and go and gaslight us, and lies the whole community. And saying, that's why I'm so pissed off. Right. Done.
I know. This is a happy call. Before we go too deep into the darkness, I think what's very cool about this is that it's Metis is going to continue to get better.
I'm very angry. I never thought I was so angry.
I know you are. I know you are. But the important thing is that Metis is going to continue to get better. Even with V7, this is still going to exist as a public good for developers everywhere. We're just kind of changing the approach to come in here. To get a binary key, you have to get 10,000 Jupe and stake it. This is kind of part of our ongoing efforts, right? To talk about how do we bring the token more into the product suite. Here's yet another example of that happening. We've been talking about it in a bunch of different ways. This is one. You also need it for the verification process. You need it to use portfolio to its full extent, and so on and so forth. Okay, that is Metis. People, if you are using it right now, you have 1 month to migrate. All right. So
it's actually we should announce it way earlier. So
you only have like 2 or 3 weeks left, probably. Then. You gotta get it
way earlier. Yeah.
I think it's been pretty. I mean, when we talked on Monday in the product leads call, I think there's already 40 or 50 people or 40 or 50 teams have already signed up, staked the Jupe and everything. So those numbers are going to continue to go forward.
Yeah, especially I think we'll be looking to, like, for example, the Jupiter Verify, like integration Jupiter as well, Jupiter token. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of other very fun things, let's do it. Let's talk a little bit about Catlumpur. Who can forget Catlumpur last year? If you were there, please drop a little W in the chat just so we can see. Do we have any faithful folks in this chat? We'll find out very soon. The goal last year was it was just a blast. It's the best conference me or I think anyone else has been to. Hopefully somebody is highlighting these comments real quick. There we go. And we're running it back this time in Kuala Lumpur, hence the name Catlumpur. Meow, why are we even doing Catlumpur?
Oh, okay. So this is exciting. So this is actually really fucking exciting, right? I'm really fucking excited. The reason is that I think we are ready. That's it, done. We're ready. I think that we are ready. That means that I think the industry is ready. I think the team is ready, right? You can see all the things that we did, right? We made tremendous progress on the team, on the systems, on the products, on the vision, on the clarity on stuff, on what needs to happen, right? We are ready, right? And most importantly, you know what I think? You know what's important? I think you are ready. Like, the users are ready. The users are ready. The community is ready, right? I can feel it, right? It's like if you actually if you really, I mean, like, anyone who's actually involved in the ecosystem, right, or Jupiter, right, they can feel it. They know that, wow, holy shit, the gap between TradFi and DeFi is really closing. It's really, really closing, and Jupiter is right there, right? We are right there. So I think we are right there, right? And basically, right, like, you guys remember before the iPhone, right? There were a lot of smartphones, right? So I think there were already smartphones, but no one actually very few people used them, right? I know that because I was using it, right? I was using a smartphone too, like, the palm thing and the thing. They were pretty much impossible to use, right? I think for advanced thing, you have to kind of figure out all kind of drivers and systems and everything. The drivers and stuff, you learn how to shit everything. I think that so I think we are, and then iPhone came along, right? And then things just made sense, right? The iPhone really integrated everything together into a full stack experience, right? And the thing that people don't understand with the iPhone is, right, it was not just the hardware, right? It was an operating system. It was all the applications on it, like the browser and the phones and everything, right? And also the notifications, right? And also the services, right? And below that, you had the brand and stuff that people trust a critical mass for the iPhone, right? And also you also need the distribution to actually get enough like reach for the ecosystem to make sense, right? And then you also had a worldwide. You just had a worldwide network of distributors and partners who can actually deliver the fixed performance, right? So I think this is very important. So I think that basically we are ready. I think we are ready, right? And that's also the reason why we are so focused on what we call full stack competency, right? You see what I'm saying? Right? So we kind of want to be able to like execute across the board, right? From brand to software to data to APIs to systems to everything. So that's actually the reason. So as I mentioned earlier, that's what I think we need, right? To manifest the what we call the decentralized matter, right? Requires full stack effort. See? And that is why next slide. Let's go. Yeah, that's why inviting everyone. Let's go. Let's go. So basically, I think it's simple, right? Number one. So who is it for? Number one, core Jupe holders, right? Number two is I think we're really making a point to really embed Jupe as part of the ecosystem, both in terms of the products and also in terms of how we think about growth and also socially, right? And then secondly is that we also want to really make an effort to invite like global technical and social influencers, same thing, right? To actually like talk to us, right, about how we can actually kind of build the future together, right? Obviously, core community members are always critical. Active Jupiter users, very important as well. So if you're a Jupiter user, definitely try to come by.
Yes.
And capital allocators, I think there'll be a lot of things to talk about. And also developers building with us. I think that also one thing, also Cash, also the other thing is happening, right, is that we also have a much more well-developed developer offering, right, this year, right? Number one, JupeNet will be a lot more ready, right? Last year was pretty much like tanker preview. You're saying, okay, and last year was like a forcing function for us to get something out there, right? And then this year is like, and this year really is a lot more. I think I would say the systems and the infra are like 80% at this point. We're saying we are like 20% away from starting full audits, right? So basically by Catlumpur, we will be able to really present a lot more stuff, and ideally every single attendee will be able to kind of test out JupeNet, give feedback, create some code together, right? And then also that'll be awesome. And the second thing is that also on the super app side, we also we think about Jupiter as a super when we say about as a full surface, right? That means that we want to be strong across all the key surfaces, right? Now, firstly, for example, the first surface will be the web. Obviously, we are very strong in the web. So I think probably one of the strongest DeFi platform, right, on the web. And the mobile and stuff, we started very late, but I think if you used it, you know we're the best. And then the third crucial surface is the APIs, right? And Moy is here. Moy, hello, Moy. Right, very very bullish at Moy. We're going to work together to really and we're going to really work together to actually make the so basically to make the developer offering as comprehensive as possible, right? So I think that's actually basically I think so for developers there's going to be a lot more also obviously and also crucially, right, as well. Remember how I talked about earlier that the world is ready? Remember that? So what we are seeing, right, is that we're also seeing that there's going to increasingly update of demand from mainstream projects and companies. So I think they can be from regular finance. Because last year our integrators were all pretty much like Solana native, right? Makes sense? This year I think we're going to see a lot more mainstream people, and then I think we see a lot more mainstream interest in actually integrating DeFi. So and Jupiter wants to be the simplest, right, to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so I think so really looking forward to having a much more broader and comprehensive like developer framework, right? And lastly, it's like and go back. Sorry, one last thing. Also, I have to mention the broader Jupiverse, right? Whether it's like whether it's Mitara or Moonshot or Drip or like or the awesome studio projects. Same thing, right? No, right? Really kind of come together to figure things out together. So it's going to be essentially. I think the big. I just want to be clear, right? It's like there will be a pretty big shift from last year, right? last year the focus was around like the community. This year it's still community, but we are going to be more purposeful, right? In terms of thinking about the technical leaders we want, the social leaders we want, and also kind of like ideally creating more like economic opportunities. Yeah, that's it.
Pretty stacked lineup of people already going to be there. I will tell you, you're not going to want to miss a best possible opportunity to meet the team, to meet other community members, to learn, to level up. And here is what you can actually expect.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And have fun. By the way,
Fun.
Molu dropped an idea. Ali Cat, if you're watching, we need to add it in. Jupiter Awards at Catlumpur would be super fun.
I don't know, man. Cash will win everything, man.
No. Best pickle. Obviously, that's going to be Girk. Most handsomest. Obviously, that's going to be Will. Well, we got a few people we can give some awards.
We should do so we should do like I know some people want to do a bowling, a basketball, a hoop. Some people do hoop, some people do calisthenics, some people do yoga. I don't know, something funny. We should do talent show. We should totally do talent show. Yeah.
Alley Cat, hopefully
we should do talent show. We should totally do talent show. Right. So I want to do let's into that.
He just wants an excuse to do some push-ups on stage.
Yeah, no. Last year, last year we had a zero boy. I think that's really fun. We live stream that shit. I saw Tommy, let's live stream that shit, bro. You know,
let's go.
Do a live stream. Yeah. It's funny. When people wear costumes, right? So I can't think about it. We have 10 costumes there, right? You know what I'm saying 10 costumes there, right? And then they'll do like push-ups or pull-ups or whatever they can do, or like wearing costume. They'll be fucking hilarious. You think, right?
The catwalk. Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, catwalk. So let's go.
Yeah, best dad jokes go to Cash. There'll be a lot of fun things to do. But in addition to all the fun stuff, right, there's going to be major product announcements. As Meow mentioned, there'll be some updates on JupeNet for the people there, but also things all across the DeFi Super App for sure as well. Educational workshops to help people get up to speed on advanced yield strategies. Go ahead.
I mean, I would say this, right? I think I would say that obviously breakpoint and is pretty tight. So I would say that I think breakpoint will be around like the Solana defense app, you saying, right? And I think and hopefully at Catlumpur we would hopefully, right? As you know, I don't have things up, but hopefully, right? Is that we will anchor the future, right? We'll give a very strong signal on where we see the future going and the role we want to play in it. So that is kind of what we want to do. I'm saying, no? Right, by Catlumpur. Yeah, we hopefully get there. Yeah.
In addition, you get to see the whole Jupiter team. There's like 115 of us now, I think. So that's going to be super fun. We are going to run back the community unconference. I was so pleasantly surprised by how engaged people were on day 2 of last year's Cat Festival. People loved it. I mean, every one of the 4 sections we had was packed the entire time. We're gonna give people more time to talk about their projects, their interests, their passions.
Bro, it's so sad because like I actually thought the team sessions would be full. I think, but then
no, people wanted to hear from the community, man. That was that's the truth.
So much fun. But I presented. It was so much fun. I really encourage everyone to present. It was so much fun. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it's a blast. So that's what you can expect over there. Of course, there are more details still to come, but we do just want to kind of like give people a heads up of what's going on in the Discord, discord.gg/Jupe, I think it is. Somebody can put the link in the chat over here. The agenda, what's going to be covered is going to be in there. Things around subsidies and the travel planning and what you need to know before you come and tips on how to make most of the conference. All of that is going to be coming in Discord today, tomorrow, the next day, over the next few days. You'll start to be able to see that over there as well. Here are the dates. The pregame is going to be Friday, January 30th at this venue. We're going to have some sports contests. We're going to have a little opening night party and some other very fun things for you to do. If you can, try to get there on Friday. There'll be some good stuff for you. But the actual conference proper will be January 31st through February 1st, 2026. Going to be an absolute blast. You can start to think about booking your flights, get your hotels. We're going to have some updates for people on hotels to stay at, all that other kind of stuff is going to be coming in. January 31st, February 1st, 2026. This is what you have to look forward to, folks. It is going to be an actual blast. The venue, I forget the name of the venue. Somebody can, maybe I saw Sydney's in the chat. Big shout out, by the way, Sydney, Tony, Ben Liu, Ali Cat, AG, Deanna. There's so many people. I'm forgetting a bunch of names right now, but so many people. Ray are putting this together, and it's awesome to see.
I'm also really excited because I think I have some friends. I think I made a lot of very good friends this year. I think this year, I think last year, I think I'm gonna make it a really big point to try to invite people from other parts of the world, South America. So then, and maybe like Middle East, that and there were also last year we had issue with visa, right? Big problem as well. So
That's why,
really big on the visa as well. That, actually that's the reason why we did Malaysia, because visas are easier.
Everybody should be able to come. Almost everybody should be able to come very easily. That's right.
Malaysia.
And it's super underrated. It's awesome. So try to get there January 30th if you can. If not, the actual conference will start on the 31st and go through the 1st. We will see it happening soon. Is it in English? Yes, it will be in English. And yes, it is. Yeah, bye, Vegeta. All right. With that said, we're going to get into the last kind of section of this call. Actually, we're doing all right on time. I'm pretty surprised. I thought we'd go much longer. Yeah. Pretty good.
Nah. I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. You're the one. Let's go.
I yap too much. Look how much he's changed in the last few months, ladies and gentlemen. Impressive to see. Now tight on message. It's the way to go. No, we're not going to be making anybody wet right now. The wet launch is not happening this week. I don't think it's happening next week. Where the dates are still being finalized. So stay tuned for more information on that. Although I will say, I'm responding to a person in the chat right now who brought up wet. They didn't. Do you see this, Meow? Humidify did more volume on Sol USD than Binance.
I mean, bro, DeFi is the future.
That's what I'm saying, dude. CeFi is on the way down.
Honestly, because you know the FTX thing, I got some. I got transfer on Kraken recently for the FTX trims, and I didn't really look at it, right? And then I tried to look at it recently. I was like, okay, let me get some Bitcoin, right? I was like, holy shit! Wow, holy shit! It was almost like 3-4% more expensive than buying Jupiter. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, like, I think it's actually very serious. I'm saying, yeah, it's fine. But I'm just saying that, wow, holy shit! I think defense is better, bro. I think it's way more open. Because the universe. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt here. But guys, the way to think about DeFi, right, is that the universe can participate, right, in the provision of liquidity, and the trading of liquidity, and the creation of liquidity, and creation of assets. That's insane. You're not like when you do a SEX, right? I don't mean SEX, I mean SEX central transactions, right? It's like, you're operating in a closed venue, so I'm saying, whereby it's pretty much the central market maker bidding, offering you their bid. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in the decentralized, the entire fucking world offering their best bid. It's completely different. It's 100% different. So I'm saying, and I think when the world sees that, I think it'll be so much more powerful. And then that's the reason why DeFi is going to try.
There it is, right there for you folks. Clip that shit too. All right, I'm going to try to go through this last part relatively quickly.
Yes, let's go.
We're going to go through a fresh start and recap there. People, I know that some of the folks on this call have heard us talk about the fresh start, but it's essential that we repeat it for anyone who hasn't heard it and drill it in just how important and how seriously we take this. I saw some comments, by the way, in the chat when we were going through all the product stuff that's happened in the last few months and all the stuff that's in the last 2 weeks. People are like, what about the token, right? What's going on there? That is the point of the fresh start, to show and demonstrate meaningfully with action, not just words, that we at Jupiter care about the token and we are trying to figure out how to make it best for everybody. I posted this maybe 2-3 weeks ago at this point, talking about changes coming to Jupe and the major changes that were needed to kind of take us to the next level. The reflection was pretty simple, that over the life cycle of Jupe, it launched in January 2024, I believe at this point. There was a ton of success there, right? Launched and kind of activated the largest and most active DAO in crypto at a time when most people were just doing governance theater. We actually had tons of voting energy, dozens of proposals, innovated on core things like active staking rewards, and much more. But despite all the good stuff, there was also some drawbacks, right? Too much, some of the mechanics around staking were actually kind of problematic for voters. The frequency of it was kind of turning people off. A lot of the energy in the conversation was going just too much towards politics, not enough towards product. And things like budgeting votes for work groups were just creating division within the community. And that was obviously not helping the general cause. So with all of this, we wanted to make some changes. The first major change that we mentioned, scaling back the DAO. The DAO is still there. I mean, we just finished a vote, so you know that the DAO is still there. But you'll notice that we're not spending this whole call talking about it. We're not talking a lot about it on socials. It's not a vote every single few days. More in between. Second, reducing the unstaking window from 30 days down to 7 days, in line with what token holders had asked for, because we really love our token holders and we want to be responsive to them. And lastly, burning the litter box, subject to the DAO vote. Well, that DAO vote has happened. The litter box tokens will be burned on Monday, the 24th of November. So you can look forward to that. We'll be burning the tokens that were in the litter box at the time that the vote passed. So it's about 130 million, roughly, Jupe, are going to be burned. That's pretty exciting. That's for everyone here. It's not about, trying to pump the price or do any of these gimmicks. Like, quite frankly, it's not like burning these tokens is going to 10x the price. That's not the point. The point is to make clear that we're taking the feedback from token holders seriously, and we want to be doing things that everyone can get on the same page with and get excited about. That's what the fresh start is really about. Not just hoping that the token develops, but by working hand in hand with key stakeholders, making sure the token develops in a direction everyone loves. The second one, reducing the unstaking period, is going to go live at the same time. That's going to go live on Monday. I know it took a little while. We wanted to wait until after the vote happened, and we wanted to make sure that all the systems and everything would work properly and that there'd be no problems. So that's also going to happen there. So fresh start, promises made, promises kept. Expect some big stuff on Monday. Both of those are going to be happening then. With that said, let's talk about the last thing of the day, which ties very much into Meow. Anything else you wanted to say about the fresh start before we talk about the last topic?
No, let's finish first. Then we'll include everything later on. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
let's go.
The last thing we want to talk about today, the final Jupiverse. Initial thoughts. Want to start putting this on people's radar. We've been thinking a lot about it. We've been talking to a lot of token holders about it, putting a lot of effort and energy into this, and it's important that we discuss it. This is the final Jupiverse that is upcoming. Every Jupiverse, I don't know why these animations are all messed up. Every Jupiverse has kind of had its own purpose, right? Jupiverse evolves with the needs of the community at the time. The first one back in 2024, airdropped 1 billion tokens, biggest airdrop on Solana ever, kickstart the Jupiverse. That was the very clear point. Last year, or I should say earlier this year, it was all about broadening the DAO and inviting more users and more people to become members of the DAO. This year, or I should say next year, it's going to be all about accelerating the decentralized meta. And as we think about Jupiverse 2026, it's really important to have balance, right? This is not just like a thing that we're going in guns blazing. No, we want to be mindful. On the one hand, we want to make this last push to grow the community, put the tokens in the hands of loyal supporters and loyal users. On the other hand, we also want to be respectful of token holder requests. We've heard it from people before. Hey, this looming 700 million token emission event is kind of scaring off potential interest. It makes us worried, creates uncertainty. So that's why we want to talk about this earlier than we normally do, to make sure that people get some of that certainty earlier and we can balance these two concerns. The design objective for 2026 is very simple. We want to accelerate the decentralized meta. What does that mean? It means taking on the feedback, designing it in line with what people have asked for, or I should say in consideration of what people have asked for, right? We obviously have our own ideas and intuition, so we're going to be pushing forward some of those in conjunction with token holders. We want to make one final push to grow the community via this Jupiverse, but we really do want to emphasize platform growth, right? The more the products grow, the bigger the community will grow, the bigger the token will grow, the bigger everything else will grow. But it starts with product and creating value for real people in the real world. And we wanted to design it in a way that would actually create long-term alignment in the holder base. With that in mind, here's how we're initially thinking about Jupiverse 2026. Worth pointing out, these are tentative plans. There might be some slight changes here, but just want to be transparent about this right now. Yeah, Meow, why are you laughing so hard? Everyone's asking in the chat.
No, someone said they'll buy 10K in Jupe if I do 10 pull-ups.
You're gonna have to go get 100K Jupe, my guy, because Meow can do a lot more than 10 pull-ups. You're gonna drive you broke on that one.
Should you know? No, let's go. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm a little bit nervous now saying this here. Here are the key things to know about Jupiverse 2026. Remember, the DAO approved 2 years of Jupiverse up to 700 million Jupe tokens per year, 2025 and 2026. So for 2026, there are 700 million tokens that have been approved to use. We are not going to use all of those all at once at first. This is, again, a key point of token holder feedback. Only 200 million Jupe will be released in early 2026, not the full 700 million. This is going to reduce the amount of kind of supply shock that might happen and help ensure that token holders feel a bit more confident on the emissions that are coming. That said, we do still want to do Jupiverse because we think that it can help grow the community, right? This airdrop is going to go to users and stakers. Specifically, 175 million Jupe tokens will be distributed to users of the Jupe products. 25 million will be allocated for stakers. There's going to be some more coming as well, so don't go too far ahead right now. For the users, we're going to be specifically focusing on the fee-paying activities this time around. In previous years, we wanted to have as wide of a tent as possible. And so anyone who used manual mode or the free swap API, everyone was eligible with their wallets. 2026
even those actually use the APIs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. 2026 is going to be different. We're going to be focusing for users who pay fees. So perps, of course, ultra trading, whether it's pro, mobile, in the wallet extension, lend borrowers. Important to note that we don't take any fees from people who are simply lending. Borrowers are the ones paying fees. Prediction markets and Studio are all eligible. And if we launch any other fee-paying products between now and then, they would also be eligible here. So this is really an important thing to do. Yes, and no, the Curveball Studio was not a joke. All right, fee-paying usage. Here's the thing to know, though. The eligibility window for users doesn't end until January 30th, 2026. The day before Catlumpur is when the snapshot is going to be taken. So you still have some time. If you have not downloaded Jupiter Mobile and Jupiter Extension, I highly encourage you do so if you want to participate in Jupiverse. But that's not all. Oh, I should say, stakers will be rewarded based on time-weighted stake, right? So loyal rewards, the stakers will be getting that initial pile of 25 million based on their time-weighted stake over the preceding year. And it's important to remember, stakers, you've also had active staking rewards, which is up to about 27% APY, and these other token deals. So this is just a cherry on top here to show our appreciation. That's really what this is all about. But that's not all. 200 million Jup will also be set aside as a bonus pool to create long-term alignment. Ultimately, we want more tokens to end up in the hands of the believers, the people who are with us for the long haul, who understand the vision and what we're trying to build here. So anyone who receives the airdrop and then keeps it staked for the entire year will be eligible for their share of the pool before the next community conference. What this means? Let's say that only, of the 200 million in the initial allocation, 100 million actually gets staked for the full year. That means every one of those tokens will get a 2x multiplier at the end of the year. So your one token becomes 3 tokens at the end of the year, right? 100 million up front, 200 million at the end, just for those 100 million people. So this is a way to reward those who have that faith. And hopefully this creates an incentive for people to be bullish on Jup and where we're going and actually stick around for the longer haul. The bonus pool is going to match the initial claim amount. We'll have more details about this a little bit later, but it just matters that as much as claimed in the beginning will then be eligible for the bonus pool at the very end, right? Quite good. Finally, the last section here, we know that future growth really matters. The only way we're going to take a DeFi and make it the new finance is if we continue to grow. And as Meow was talking about, JupNet is a critical piece of that. It is going to be the linchpin in a world with millions of chains, billions of people, trillions of tokens, all that. And because we want to make sure that it's going to help grow both Jupiter, the product, and Jup, the token, you can learn more about that later, these incentives are going to be announced over time after JupNet is live. Okay, so these are not going to be released right at the beginning of the year. They'll be released over time after JupNet actually goes live. So here's what it looks like at a glance. Of the 700 million, we're not releasing all of it in early 2026. 200 million will be released in early 2026.
Only 200 million. Only 200 million. Yep, just go.
Better said, a maximum of 200 million. In previous airdrops, it's only been about a 70% to 80% claim rate. So it actually will probably be a little bit less than that. But yes, that'll be the maximum that's going to be released. Early 2026, 175 for users, 25 million for stakers. JupNet incentives is another 300. That's for the long term. And then the bonus pool at the end of the year for people who continue to buy, stake, and hold for the entire year will then be 200 million as well. That is the overall idea here. Remember, this is the final Jupiverse. We're not going to be doing it again after this. Every single one of them has been a journey, and we have learned a fuck ton. The biggest thing that we've learned, though,
fuck ton.
This is the biggest thing we've learned. We love you. It's all worth it, even if it is a fuck ton of pain. It is very much worth it to accelerate the growth.
So much pain. So much pain. So much pain.
So that is the game plan for Jupiverse 2026. Small upfront, bonus for loyalty.
Can you scroll up?
Yep.
Yeah.
To where?
Yeah, here. I feel like, okay, so here's the thing, right? I think now that Cash finished his spiel, I feel like this makes a lot of sense, right? Let me just share why, right?
Please.
Number one is that, okay, guys, this is important, right? If I grade, I believe a lot in, so actually, as for those that worked with me before, right? You will know I'm pretty harsh, right? I'm actually really harsh, right, with people. And the reason is I'm pretty harsh with myself too, right? So I tend to think, well, things I did before and what went right or wrong. And I'll say that I think for the first Jupilery, right, I think I give myself an A- to an A. I think I did pretty well. That it was well distributed, well communicated, done really well, right? But the second Jupilery, right, I think I give myself a C or C- or even D, right? Mainly because I think I didn't understand that the dynamics have completely changed. See what I'm saying? You know, right? Like in the first Jupilery was completely surprised, no one expected it at all. You know what I'm saying? And there was no and it was like and it was just really there was no token holders yet. So it was the only token holders were the prospective ones. See what I'm saying? Right? But second one, things have completely changed, right? The token is really live. There were a whole bunch of token holders, and then and the DAO was formed, and so it was like the dynamic had changed. So I think, but my approach hadn't changed. So I think I was still thinking about it as in the same way, right? Of like growing the community, without realizing that the community is now different already, right? So that was the big mistake last year, right? In thinking about stuff. Anyway, you know, I think that and the way, and then I think that actually resulted in the case whereby I honestly, I'll be honest here, I don't think the community grew that much, right? Because of second airdrop, Jubilee, right? I also don't, and I certainly think that it could be done a lot better, right? I think so I think what we're doing now is that can you go on? I feel like the so what we're doing now is important, right? Is that I think, by the way, this is Cash's idea, by the way, not mine, right? Cash's idea, so credit him. That we will do something whereby we will take care, we'll make sure that we really listen to the token holders, right? In the sense that, like, okay, the token, obviously the whole market is shit, and token holders are like, you know, not doing so well right now. And so we're going to, but we want to follow through on the community to do Jubilee, right? So we're going to do a much smaller segment of it, 200 million, right? And then there are 200 million because there's not going to be Jubilee next year. Make sense?
Correct.
So we're going to be able to kind of reserve their 200 million for people who actually hold on to the airdrop. Make sense? Right? That's it then. So it's a big way for saying that, hey, you know what? Like, we want to kind of shift, and then it's kind of cool, right? Because if half the airdrop, if half the recipients drop out, you actually get way more. Same thing. So it's a way for us, and obviously, hopefully, then it makes sense, right? Then you will work with us, same thing, to help the token do well. Same thing, right? Because that's what we need. That's what we need. We need everybody, right, to focus on helping the token do well. Same thing, you know, right? So that was the critical thing that we didn't really appreciate. Same thing. How do we build a fully aligned community, the team, the platform, and to kind of help to grow the token and the platform together, right? So I feel like this year we are taking a much more also I don't be clear. I think we are going to Jubilee is a big deal. Jubilee is going to be a very big deal. And also and the token and the economics make a lot more sense because, for example, I think if we're taking the Jupe to focus on a new network, it's going to be a lot more bang for the buck. Same thing in terms of obviously because this new network also is also strategically important for us. Same thing. Yes, Scarlett. Thank you. Right. You know. So anyway, moving forward, right? Moving forward, we're going to be focused. Okay. So this Jubilee number one, I feel like this should actually negate a lot of the token holders' fears that we're going to flood a lot of stuff. It's gonna really focus on the core users and seekers, and then and obviously reserve the firepower for key initiatives, right? That I believe the community will want us to grow. Make sense? Where any Jupe that put into the effort, for example, JubeNet, will result in a very exponential amount of returns, I think, for the project over time. Yeah, so I think it's way more. I like it a lot. Thanks, Cash, for working through this and pushing through it. No, seriously, Cash really, right?
We did it together, but I appreciate the.
No. You were pain the ass. You were like, Meow, we gotta do it. Go do this. I'm not joking, bro. I'm not joking. He was Cash in Singapore, and every fucking day he'll be like, bro, this.
Every day I was like, bro, we gotta do our jobs. Yes. That was
Okay, oh my god. Okay, I was kind of avoidant, right, for sure. And anyway, so I think back to the point.
Yeah.
Okay. So go on.
I was just gonna say the key point here to remember, I think, is like the balance that needs to be struck, right? Ultimately, users and the product growth is how we're going to continue to amplify. That's how we reach new audiences, how we build trust and conviction in the future of what this token actually represents, which is the evolution of DeFi into
wait.
people do.
Wait, I gotta back up for a bit.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's. You can do do some pull-ups here. That's one. Look at that terrible form. You got to go all the way down, Meow. Yeah. Okay. He's good.
You man, fuck you.
Oh, your audio still works? Fuck. I thought you couldn't hear me. Somebody's got to go buy 10,000 Jupe right now. That I'm gonna have to say is a fact. Can he do it? Can he do it? I lost count. I also don't do math in public. How many is that? Somebody can say? He's just going to go for a little while. So how are you guys doing? We can just hang out here, chat. Well,
how many is that? I don't know.
I think it was like 6 or 7, maybe 8.
No, I'm to the
Oh, he's getting tired. For people who don't know, during meetings, Meow will oftentimes do like handstand push-ups. Not always while wearing a shirt, just to kind of clear his head and make it happen.
Just on the K.
That was, I don't know if the form was not so good, so I think that was probably like 1 or 2.
Fuck off, bro. Fuck off. That was a great form, bro. Fuck off.
Anyway, just to go back to this here.
20, let's go.
20, not bad. Not bad at all. It's 20K Jupe someone's got to go get. Listen, ultimately, the goal here is that there's a relatively smaller amount up front, but don't forget the bonus pool. I saw some people being like, oh, it's only 25 million for stakers. If you are a loyal staker, you're going to be able to massively increase the amount of Jupe that you're able to get here, in addition to the active staking rewards that you've gotten, the airdrops that have come, the pre-sales that have come, and so forth. Ultimately, we need to grow, grow, grow. So if you're watching this, if you're seeing this, now is the time to really try out every Jupiter product you can if you want to maximize your excitement during Jupiwary. It's going to be extended through January 30th. So heads up on that. Jupiter Mobile and the extension wallet are the best ways to actually do it. There we go. People are asking about carrots. We have not released the carrots yet. The carrots are still there in the reserve. Meow, do you want to say anything about carrots? The thing is, Meow can actually only do 15, but like in front of 8,900 people, he's not going to only do like 5 or 6, you know?
No, yeah, man, 20K, man, let's go. That was season. No, okay. On the serious note for the carrots, right? Okay, so there are going to be a few things that we think are going to be very important, okay? So the way the carrots are going to work, right, is that we are going to very, very carefully identify things that have exponential returns. You know, like things that if we use the carrots, we are confident it's going to generate exponential returns, you know, for the protocol. So until we identify those, we won't use it. Yeah.
That's right. So none of those 200 million have been used yet, though those have been approved. So this is the general structure for it. The end goal here, of course, helping to grow, helping make sure that token holders feedback that they did not want to see all 700 million of that come up at once, that they wanted to create long-term alignment. That's the goal here, is to kind of gamify this to ensure that there's actually an incentive for you to get your airdrop and hold it because you know it's going to multiply if you can stick around for the end of the year. That's the game plan here, along with ensuring that we're set up for future growth with JupeNet. That is it. That is the biggest learning. We love you, even if it is a fuck ton of pain. That's about it. Anything else you want to say about Jupiwary 2026, Meow?
Nah, final one. Let's go.
The final one. All right. Well, folks, this was a banger. It was good to have you back, Meow. We were under an hour and 20 minutes. Pretty good.
Easy. Let's go.
What did we cover here? The Meow recap on everything that's been going on, both in front of the scenes and behind the scenes over the last 2 or 3 months. This week in the Jupiverse, or this fortnight in the Jupiverse, so much stuff has happened. Limit orders launched. Lend had a bunch of improvements. The extension wallet had a bunch of improvements. Metis V7 was announced. Robinhood started using us. Many more people. We talked a lot about the Metis migration and why that was so important right now. We got to hear about Catlumpur, January 31st and February 1st, 2026. Be there if you can. More details coming in Discord. Got to talk about the fresh start and, for the first time, Jupiwary 2026 early thoughts. I love you too, Fluffy. Thank you for coming out, everybody. That is all. Meow's going to go pass out from having done too many pull-ups. He's
easy,
his
bro.
Little weak body can't handle it.
Easy.
Light work. Okay, do another 20 then. Light work. I'll do another 20.
Easy. Later tomorrow.
All right, everybody. You don't have to go home.
Guys. Catlumpur, Catlumpur, me and Cash. All right, face off. Let's go.
No.
Let's go. Are we on?
I nominate JD as my champion, like it's in Game of Thrones, and I can send somebody else in front. JD,
Dude,
if you're watching this, you are my guy.
You trash talk my form, bro. You trash talk my form, bro. Go bring it, man, bro. You trash talk, bro. You don't do that shit. You don't trash talk, and you know
you want to talk business. You still owe me 1,000 push-ups. You think I forgot about that? I have not forgot about that. You do that, and then we can talk. All right.
Deal.
All right,
let's go.
All right, you don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Goodbye, everybody. Good seeing you. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye.